Hi, Miss Marion here. We're going to go ahead and write equations, but we're going to do it a little bit differently than what we have been doing before. So make sure you have a note and you're following along, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, so we have this picture here, and there are a couple of things we want to go ahead and accomplish for today. Is we want to go ahead and find our slope. We do want to go ahead and find our y-intercept, an equation of a line, and then find A and B. And we're actually going to kind of do this out of order. So first of all, number one, we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to find our slope. So our slope, notice how we have on this here, we have 2 points that have everything filled in. So we're going to have our slope, and remember, it is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So y2 is 11 minus y1, which is 1, x2, which is 8, minus y1, which is 3. So grab your calculator, and we're going to do 10 minus 1, which is, 11 minus 1, which is 10, and 8 minus 3, which is 5. Put it in your calculator, tell it to simplify, and you are going to get 2, or we want to add in fraction form, or 2 over 1. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a table that goes along with this graph. And we're going to make an XY table, and we're going to take this point here and we're going to put it on our graph and kind of a little bit in the middle, and I'll show you a little bit the reason why a little bit later. And what we're going to do is we're going to, remember, the table goes along with the graph, and we're going to go, while we're going up the graph, we're going to kind of fill in the table itself. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to change, we want to fill in the rest of the table. And so how does our x's change? We're going to pull that from our slope. So notice, remember, it is our y, the change of y over the change of x. And our table changes by 1, or a positive 1. So as we go down the line, or down the table, it's going to be positive 1. So we're going to say 3 plus 1 is 4, and then 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. And I'm going to stop here because notice how this point up here has 8 in its x. So then we're just going to stop there. Now we want to figure out how do the y's change. The y's change is the top number of our slope, so it's going to be positive 2. And that means while we're going down, like filling in the rest of this table, we're gonna add by 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7, 7 plus 2 is 9, and 9 plus 2 is 11. Notice how this point is the same as this one way up here. Okay? So now what we're going to do, notice how we have missing pieces. So we have a comma 5 and 7 comma b. We want to fill in these missing pieces here. Notice how we have 5 in our y piece of information. Here is 5. Let's do it this way. In our y piece of information. So this point is 5 comma 5. So a is going to be 5. Notice how this point has 7 in the x. This point has 7 in the x. So we're going to use that one also. And so this point is 7 comma 9. So the missing piece, so that's 7, just so you know, is 9. So notice how we kind of did these out of order. So 1, we found our slope. 2, we're going to make our table. 3, find A and B. And then 4, we are going to go ahead and find an equation. So for us to find an equation, we want to find the y-intercept. Now, to kind of help us remind ourselves, this line, this graph has nothing to do with what we're doing before. Remember that this point right here is the y-intercept. That's where the line crosses the y-axis. What is that point? That point is 0, 3. So to be able to find the y-intercept, we need x to be 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to expand out our table, but we're going to kind of do it backwards. Because see how it's 5, 4, 3, and then we can do 2, 1, 0, right? So we want to be able to kind of go backwards on our table. So if I'm adding 1 going down the table, going backwards on that, we're going to go ahead and subtract off our 1. So subtract off 1. So if we do it, if we look at it, go 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. And then again, we're going to go backwards on our y stuff. So I'm going to subtract off 2. I'm going to say 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. So I want to find where x is 0. And where x is 0, that is my y-intercept. So I have my slope. My slope is 2 over 1. I have my y-intercept, which is negative 5. We are going to go ahead and put this into y equals mx plus b to go ahead and find my equation. So we're going to say y equals, what's my slope? 2 over 1 always sits next to x plus, and then my y-intercept is negative 5. So then this is my equation. That's the last thing we're going to go ahead and find. So it's kind of a weird question. There's a lot of stuff pieces in there, but this is our end result. All right, so here is example number 2. And again, so first of all, we are going to find our slope. So our slope is y2, 9, minus y1, which is 3, over x2 over x1, which is 2. And then 9 minus 3 is 6. 14 minus 2 is 12. Put it in your calculator, simplify it down. Our slope is 1 over 2. Second of all, we're going to go ahead and do our table. We are going to go ahead and start with our 2, 3. Remember, we're going to use our x's. How does our x change? So remember, it is y stuff, change of y over change of x. And our x is changed by 2. So that means we're going to add 2 going down. So 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. And then 12 plus 2 is 14. And then we're going to go back to our slope. Our y's change by 1. So we're going to add 1 going down. So 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So now we want to find missing A and B. So find A and B. So if we look at it, A is sitting with 4 on the x. So we have sitting with 4 on the y, and that is here. So this point is 4, 4. So A is going to be 4. And then here, 8 is with the x. Let's look at our table. I have 8 on my x, 8, 6. So my B, or missing number, is 6. And then now, again, we want to go ahead. Last thing we want to do is find the equation. Should put that in red, but oh well. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at our slope. Or actually, well, we are going to look at our slope. But to change it going To fill in the rest of the here, we added 2. Now we're going to do opposite, which is subtract off 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. And I do want, so when we find the equation, we want to find our y-intercept, right? And we want to find where x is 0. So I have an x of 0, and then we're going to go back and change the y's. So we're going to go down by 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. So then this is my y-intercept. So let's put that. So y-intercept equals 2. Again, we're going to put it together. Y equals mx plus b. So we're going to have y equals, my slope is 1 over 2, sitting with x plus, and the y-intercept is 2. So then this is my equation for number 2. All right, so we're going to kind of walk through this. I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to tell, right now, what I want you to do is find the slope. So go ahead and pause, find the slope, and then come back to me. All right, so your slope should be 2 over 3. So check and see if you did that. If not, go back and fix it. Number 2, we're going to do an x, y table. So go ahead and make an x, y table. And again, we're going to start with 3, 1. So pause, do that, and then come back to me. So here's our table, and we're going to check and see, does 15, 9, 15, 9. So my table is correct. Next, we want to go ahead and we want to find when our x is 0. So go backwards on this table and see if you've done it correctly. So pause, do that, and then come back to me. So if we go backwards, we're going to minus off 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. Go backwards, minus 2. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So the y-intercept equals negative 1. All right, so now make your equation. Just go make an equation and then come back to me. So y equals, slope is 2 over 3, sitting by x plus negative 1. Here's our equation. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to find our a and b. So our equation is y equals 2 over 3x plus a negative 1. I need to find our a and b. So here is a, 3. So I want 3 on the y's. So it's 6, 3. So a is 6. And then here is 12, b. So 12, b, that's this guy here. So 12, 7. So the missing b is 7. All right, so this is what we're doing for today. Make sure you understand this. This is on our quiz and test. So make sure you go through this. And if you need to rewind it and keep on going over, you can. All right, tape this in on your worksheet on page 116 to make sure you have it in your worksheet so you can use it on your quiz and test. So make sure you go ahead and do that at this time. All right, so your homework for today, I decided not to really give you homework other than you need to study this page that we did for your quiz, and you also need to make sure you get all your missing assignments in. All right, so have a good day. Thanks. Bye.